Okay guys, so I'm going to give you 10 of my top love at first smell fragrances. These are 10 fragrances that I just absolutely fell in love with the first time I smelled them. So pretty self-explanatory. I do have a mix of niche, designer, one indie in here. So there's a good little variety for everyone, I think. Welcome to the Fragrance Wardrobe. Alright guys, before we get into this list video, I do want to remind you, if you like this type of content, please hit the like button and slide on over, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. First one, because it's closest by me, these aren't ranked or in any order or anything like that. Just grabbing for the ones that are closest. This one from Daniel Hosier, it's a Spanish niche house and it is green leather. Right there, green leather. First smelled this in a decant. My buddy Jim at Heart Notes TV sent me some decants, I think end of last year, maybe last fall. We swapped some decants back and forth, and this was in there, and I absolutely loved it. I tried to find deals on it for a couple months, and I ended up paying full retail for this bottle because I cannot find a deal on Daniel Hosier anywhere. But I did buy 2 bottles. It was like a buy one get one half off bottle deal or something like that. This one though, don't let the name fool you. It's not like a super leathery fragrance. This one is actually more fruity. You have some raspberry in here. It's just a really captivating scent. You have raspberry, you have some tea notes in here. It's a little bit, it's going to be like too much for high heat, like August in Texas, but fall and springtime, wintertime, this thing plays really well. Performance on here is really good. Good projection. It's got a high likability factor, and it is pretty unisex. I think pretty much anyone can wear this one. All right, number 2, this is a cheapie, and you can find them at rack stores. Now, I first fell in love with this fragrance the first time I smelled it in the mall as a small child, like elementary school. I used to go school clothes shopping and everything with my grandmother, and they used to give out like decants to everybody. They weren't as stingy back then in like the 90s. And this is one that I absolutely loved. It's Tommy, from Tommy Hilfiger. This, I still love the scent of this. It needs to make a comeback. If only the performance were a little bit better. But yeah, you have really interesting, I guess, scent composition with this. Has a really nice cactus note in it. There's some other like green facets to this fragrance. But all in all, I think everyone smelled it, so I don't think I have to run it down too much. But everyone's pretty much smelled this. You can get these for like $20 at rack stores now. And I haven't worn it like for a daytime wear in quite a while. Most of my wearings have been like out of the shower and nothing recently. But I do remember the first time I smelled it and how I just fell in love with it. This is not like my original bottle that I had as a child. This is one I picked up at a rack store, I don't know, a year or more ago, something like that. Just because I saw it and I was feeling nostalgic that day. Okay, next up, this is going to be designer as well. This one might be discontinued. I'm not quite sure about it. It's from Carolina Herrera. It's Siegman Privé, the one with the like flask-like cap. Pretty cool. It smells so good. Super boozy. This is a really boozy type of fragrance. It's going to be great for the fall, great for the winter, great for a date night or something like that. It's a rich, boozy scent, very seductive type of scent, which makes it great for like a date night. Yeah, this would also be like if you wore leather jackets or you're that type of guy, good like leather jacket type of fragrance. That's not me, but that might be one of you guys. So definitely one to try out if you can. I don't know if it's blind buy safe, but I think most people enjoy the scent on Siegman Privé. All right, now we're going to go niche and kind of expensive. It's going to be from Kilian Paris, and it is Moonlight in Heaven, right here. When did I first smell this? I can't remember. I had a decant or something, I think. I can't remember when I first smelled it, but I do remember After I first smelled it, I had to have a bottle. I love the scent, and in fact, I got a clone that I bought before I ever bought this bottle for a lot less money. But a bottle of this is going to run you, I think, in the ballpark of like $200, 50 mil. Moonlight in Heaven, it's like a tropical fruit type of fragrance, but it's not tropical in the sense of like straight summertime or suntan lotion or anything like that. It's got like, I think, mango, some other tropical fruits in there, and it has like a really nice richness to it, which kind of makes it more suitable for maybe like end of summer, or like when the weather starts transitioning at the end of summer or at the beginning when you still have those cool days and everything. Great night out type of fragrance. Can be worn by a man or a woman. I think pretty much all of Kilian's, well, maybe not all, but this one definitely can go for either gender. Really great fragrance. Does pull compliments and everything, and just love smelling this thing. I still have like that same reaction and feelings to this fragrance when I smell it today as I did the first time I smelled it. Just an awesome, remarkable fragrance, in my opinion. All right, next up, going to be another one of those nostalgic picks. This is one I first smelled as a child, and I don't know if I ever smelled it on somebody, but I do recall smelling it in the mall. In fact, like every time we went to the mall to go school clothes shopping, all of that kind of thing, when I was, I don't know, in elementary school. And I always wanted a bottle of this. I ended up getting a bottle, I think, as a teenager, and then I haven't had a bottle in a long time. But this is going to be from Ralph Lauren. It's Polo, or commonly referred to as Polo Green. This one, huge like note breakdown on this. Back in these days, when this, I think this came out like in the late 70s, and back then they used a ton of notes. But what you're going to get with this, very green. You have like a lot of pine in here. You also have some nice tobacco in here as well. My dad can't stand the scent of this. He thinks it smells like trash, but a lot of people do or did enjoy this. This fragrance was kind of like a status symbol for a lot of people, like in the 80s and everything, and early 90s. If you wore this, you know, it's kind of like a status thing. Now, not very many people wear it. It's dated, but I think the performance is, you know, not what it used to be, but the scent is still pretty much what I remember. And I remember falling in love with this thing, and I still have a love and like nostalgic feeling toward this fragrance. It's just an awesome fragrance. All right, we're going to go back to niche for this one. This is going to be from Parfums de Marly. Again, this is one that I first smelled in decant form from some decants that my friend Jim at Heart Notes TV sent to me. And this one is Sedley. Right here, Sedley. Love this fragrance. I've worn it a few times this summer. It's so good. Now, I do think that the first year this came out, I've heard that the performance really sucked, but I gotta think a bottle that was made maybe this year, maybe end of last year, something like that, and the performance for me is really good. So I get all day out of this fragrance. So they did, I think, perfect the performance on this one. Very citrus, lots of citrus in this one, and there's like a fizzy feel that you get from it, almost like a 7-Up type of effervescence to it. It's like a sparkling citrus, and it smells incredible. Very niche quality aromatic citrus fragrance here, and I got to smell it again. Yeah, it smells great. This one, you can't go wrong. Everybody's going to like the way it smells, or I shouldn't say everybody, but I think most people will. So if you're looking for a mass appealing niche fragrance, Sedley could be the way to go. Okay, now let's go ahead and get to the one indie fragrance I have on this list. It's from Authenticity Perfumes. It's going to be L'Homme Riche right here. This one was total love at first smell. Smelled this in decant form. Last year, Authenticity sent me some decants to try out, and this was the standout for me. This is the one that just like did it for me, and I love the scent. It's such a smooth, such a creamy touch of sweetness in here. I think you have a lot of sandalwood going on, making it nice and creamy. There's ylang-ylang that comes up really nicely in this. It's like a white floral with a touch of creaminess. Well, a white floral with a lot of creaminess and like a touch of sweetness. Smells freaking amazing. Love this thing. And this actually translates into the rich man. So L'Homme Riche. It does smell like something that someone would have. It does smell like something that someone who has some money might wear. Okay, back to designer. We're going with Yves Saint Laurent. Now, I first smelled Y EDT. I bought it, blind bought it, loved it. I didn't think you could get any better than that. And then I blind bought the EDP. And you can get better than the EDT because the performance on here is amazing. So with this one, you're going to get apple. There's, I believe, some ginger in here. Juniper is in here. Smells great. I think that the aroma chemical in here, I don't think it's ambroxan. I want to say it might be amberwood, or maybe it's ISOE Super. I think it's amberwood that's in here. It's either that or maybe ISOE Super, but really good fragrance. Get like 8-9 hours performance. It projects very heavily. It's basically the EDT on steroids. It smells great. I love what they did with the entire Y line. I think all of the flankers are good to go. All right, next up, another designer. I picked this one up this year. So Mike over at Mike D Reviews was told me I should get my nose on Chanel Allure Sport and Extreme here. And I went to Ulta, smelled both of them. I bought both of them. But this one was the standout for me. I really like the Eau Extreme. Reason being, I think it might be because of like that smooth, creamy feel that you get from the tonka and the sandalwood. You have like that touch of sweetness, that creaminess. There's the ever so slight touch of powder. I think it's less powder than Chanel Allure Sport, but you do kind of pick it up. But for the most part, the sandalwood keeps this thing pretty smoothed out and creamy. It's fresh. You have some fresh notes at the top. It stays pretty fresh throughout the life of the fragrance, but with that sweet, creamy base, it smells great. And last but not least, this is my first fragrance I bought that I spent like a crap ton of money on. And it's from the house of Tom Ford, and it is Tuscan Leather right here. So Tuscan Leather, I saw Brian Sakawa at He Spoke Style talk about this one, and I had to get my nose on it. So I ordered a decant off of eBay, a little 2 ml decant. Loved it. Immediately ordered this, and yeah, this is so good. This is Tuscan Leather with raspberry mixed in. It smells great. It smells great. It's kind of one of those like boss type of fragrances. When you wear it, it just kind of elevates your confidence. It elevates your mood a little bit. And I think that it probably shows, you know, for the people that are smelling you around you. So really great fragrance from Tom Ford, Tuscan Leather. Love this thing. I'll always have a bottle of this in my collection. All right, guys, so that was my top 10 fragrances that were love at first smell. So there they are. I'm sure there's probably some other ones, but when I was going through my entire cabinet, trying to like look at each fragrance and think, okay, which ones did I just like fall in love with the first time I smelled them? It was these. It was all of these. So yeah, all good fragrances. Let me know if you have any of these or if you've tried any of these. I'd be interested to know your feedback on these fragrances. Also comment and let me know what are some of your love at first smell fragrances. All right, guys, again, thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the red subscribe button, slide over and ring the bell for notifications. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.